Welcome back to another episode of Up the Score Show. In today's episode, we got a brand new guest and we got a brand new sport kind of we're doing. We're doing college football brackets, man. Got a couple college football shorts and we got a new guest, Gabe. Gabe, you could go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Gabe. A big college football fan. I watch pretty much every college football team I can. On Saturdays, I'll have four, five, six games going at a time. So I love this sport so much, and this is my favorite time of year when we get into December.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got Christmas, you got championship games on New Year's. You feel me? No, no, no. You out of school. No, this is the best time of the year for real, man. Anybody that's listening to this episode, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Um, First thing we gotta do though is we gotta celebrate this win that Oregon's about to get over James Madison on the bracket, right? Is this just like
Yeah,
obvious?
yeah, it's
So
pretty chalked. Like I think James Madison deserves some credit because people are trying to diss the group of five, but if you go look at power rankings that like Vegas does, like those power rankings that determine spread lines for games, like James Madison's actually a lot higher than you would think. Like they're in like the top 40 or 30. So they're a lot better than a lot of power four teams are, but like it's still gonna be a blowout and Oregon's gonna win.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to them for making it this far though. Um, Next we got probably the best game of the entire first round. Or I'm pretty sure these teams have played this year. Have Alabama and Oklahoma played earlier?
Yeah, they played 2, 3 weeks ago. Or I
Okay.
guess
Wow.
not 3 weeks, like 3 weeks ago, game wise. It was a little while ago, like real time. But um, yeah, Oklahoma ended up beating Alabama at Alabama. They took them down 23-21.
I believe I watched that game, and John is not a bad quarterback at all, bro. He sidearms it a little bit too much, but like he is actually capable of being this Alabama team, especially like you said. I also agree with you that Ty Simpson's hurt with his back, I believe. Um,
Yeah, but at the same time though, like Oklahoma's offense is horrible. And when they played last time, Oklahoma 0 turnovers, Alabama turned the ball over 3 times. Alabama outgained them by 194 yards. So it was really like Alabama had almost 10 more minutes time of possession, almost 200 more total yards, and they were better on third down. Like they were better in every aspect of the game other than turnovers. They turned the ball over 3 times and quite literally lost them the game.
Yeah, no, not literally. I remember watching this game, but I've been, like I said, I've been speed running through so many games, so I don't really remember the details. But I'm gonna go with Alabama in this one. Like Ryan Williams, I ain't super duper high on him, but I just feel like he's gonna have a better game than what he had. 3 catches, I believe it was 2 catches. Like Jeremy Bernard had 7. That's crazy. Just yeah, yeah. I have to go with Alabama, bro. They Ty Simpson, even though he ain't been as good as he was to begin the season, he still has plays like you said earlier in the episode. He is probably my favorite quarterback in the class too, Gabe. Like he has moments where he scares me though. Like Ty Simpson being my favorite quarterback of this class is more of a indicative of this class. It's like Ty Simpson's number one. You feel me? Like I ain't to diss Ty Simpson, but like I think he's the best quarterback, and then like Sawyer Robertson and Dante Moore tied at number 2 for me.
Yeah, I think like Ty didn't even play that bad last time they played this game. Like he had
Yeah,
326 yards passing and 150 that was after. So like he's really pushing the ball down the field. He did have a pick, but like it was just a messy game. Bama did not play well at all. Um, they turned the ball over way too much. Um, I don't see Oklahoma getting this same type of performance out of Alabama again, which is why they won. The Oklahoma defense is great, but the offense is bad. They have the 107th run offense and the 63rd pass offense in the country. Like this offense, like if they do get through Alabama, like they're not gonna be in this bracket very long. Alabama's defense has been playing a lot better lately as well.
I
So
agree. Yeah, I'm
I,
going Alabama.
I trust Alabama a lot more, but they gotta play clean football. Um, yeah, they just gotta play clean football and they'll win the game.
Yeah, should we go to the bottom of the bracket or should we just finish this top half off?
Let's go to the bottom of the bracket.
All right. Now on the bottom, we got Tulane versus Ole Miss. I think this is Ole Miss. You got anything you want to say about Tulane? You could go ahead, but
Um,
like,
yeah, Tulane. Like I expect a better performance out of Tulane this time. I don't think it'll be as much of a blowout as it was last time. Um, and like maybe they catch them sleeping a little bit just because it'll be like it's the same play caller, but like Lane also had a lot of input on play calling, and it'll be Pete Golding's first time as a head coach, so like game planning is going to be a little bit
yeah,
different. It'll be interesting. Last time these guys played back in September, it was a 45-10 win for Ole Miss, but at the same time, Tulane quarterback Jake Retzlaff, he played really, really bad, but he's a transfer from BYU. He was a great quarterback at BYU last year, so he's been a great quarterback at the Power Four level. Like this guy can play at a high level. He was still getting used to the Tulane offense at that point. Like this guy's been through a whole season now, so I would expect a much better performance out of Retzlaff. And I think the offense puts up better numbers for Tulane this time. Um, but ultimately, I think Ole Miss will win regardless. They're just a
yeah,
significantly better team.
yeah. I got Ole Miss winning that one too. No, you can't beat a team by what 5 touchdowns earlier in the year, then lose in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Especially while your quarterback is going on an insane draft stock run. Like this is a game. This is a playoff run that he should want to have. You know what I mean? Like he should want to play Georgia and show NFL teams that he could go up against a defense like that.
yeah,
Because if Ole Miss were to make like in a fantasy world make the championship game, that quarterback is gonna go in the first round.
yeah,
So like for him, that Tulane game very important. Tulane, shout out to y'all, but I got Ole Miss winning it. And then, okay, this game actually might be better than Alabama, Oklahoma, Miami, Texas A&M.
yeah. The one thing I think that's kind of separates them is Bama Oklahoma is going to have a prime time spot on a Friday night versus Miami Texas A&M's the first game of the day on Saturday.
I get, yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, that's just how the TV deals worked out. But I think it'll be a great game nonetheless. I actually do think Miami's going to win this game. Miami, they've gotten a lot of hate because they lost to a couple bad teams in the middle of the season. They kind of fell off in the middle there, but they bounced back. They beat a couple good teams down the stretch, and ultimately they still have that big win over Notre Dame early in the season, and they beat a very talented Florida team. People are going to say Florida's not a very good win, but Florida took a lot of teams down to the wire this year and even beat Texas. So that Florida team may have been flawed, but they still have a lot of talent on that roster. It's still a very impressive win, in my opinion. Miami has a top 10 run defense in the country, and their line of scrimmage play on both sides of the ball, they have a ton, like, they probably have 5 NFL guys on their offensive line. That offensive line is ridiculous. And then they also have true freshman wide receiver Malachi Tony, who is one of the most spectacular players I have watched this season. He is ridiculous. And they also have CJ Daniels on top of that. They have an okay run game. If Carson Beck can play mistake-free football, I think Miami wins the game. Um, Texas A&M, when their run game gets taken away, and I think their run game will be minimized by this Miami run defense, especially with Ruben Bain out there. When their run game gets taken away, a lot more pressure gets put on Marcel Reed, and when Texas A&M has to rely on Marcel Reed, he's not the most accurate passer, and he does make some costly mistakes at time. And I think these Miami DBs can force 1 or 2 interceptions, and that'll really be the difference of the game. I would take Miami. I know a lot of people are going to take Texas A&M in this spot, though,
wow,
especially
Gabe,
especially
you
at Kyle Field.
you changed my mind. like even when you first started your little spiel on why you're going Miami, I was kind of ignoring it. But like, how did I blank out that they have Ruben Bain?
Yeah, their defense is legit. Like people just kind of like I feel like people haven't really watched Miami this year. Like they kind of just like, oh, that's the same Miami team that Cam Ward played for. It's not. This Miami team has won
Dude,
games with their defense this year. The defense is far improved from last year, especially a defensive back, and they still have Ruben Bain out there. And the offense is not what it was last year, but it's still good enough. And Malachi Tony and CJ Daniels is one of the most underrated receiver duos in the country.
yes, bro. And I didn't even think about the best defensive player in the draft.
Yeah, I think like Texas A&M plays their best football when they can run for 4 or 5 yards of carry, and then Marcel can add on top of that. When they don't have that run game, Marcel just doesn't play as good, and I think a turnover or two can really swing this thing in
No,
Miami's
this is
way.
gonna be a great. I'm gonna keep up. I'm gonna keep up with this game, dude. This
I
is
think
gonna be a
this is going to
great
be the
one.
best. This is going to be the best first round game in my opinion.
Dude, I don't know who's gonna win anymore, Gabe. Why did you do that to me? I forgot they had Ruben Bain. Dude, so Ruben Bain is gonna be able to get to Marcel Reed, who's already like an iffy passer. The
Yeah, when it's
shit.
yeah, you don't really know what you're going to get with Marcel. Like he's been really really good this year times. But then he's also had first halves like he had against South Carolina
Yeah,
where
that
he's
Carson
just
Beck's
been
been at this stage already, you know?
yeah, Carson Beck's
Like,
played in a lot of big games, like been hit or miss, but it's just like
no, no, yeah, yeah,
it's
he's been
hard to
hit or
predict
miss.
turnovers, but I think whoever wins the turnover battle in this game is going to win. I just think Miami defensively will find a way.
Yeah, no, I think defensively Miami could actually stop Texas A&M running the ball, bro. The whole reason I was gonna tell you, like, I don't know why you picking Miami is gonna be Texas A&M ability to run the ball, but Miami's ability to stop the run is something
Yeah, they
that
have like
totally like went over my head. Yeah,
Miami has like the 7th ranked run defense in the
yeah,
country right now or
bro.
something.
Not
Like they're underrated.
wow, you convinced me because this was gonna be our first split, but for a future
Yeah,
reference,
I
what?
mean, I'm
What?
fine
What?
with I'm fine with whoever we pick here, but like I would
Nah,
lean
man.
Miami slightly. I think this game is going to be terrific though. Like I
No,
think
no,
this
no.
game's
Yeah,
going to be insane.
yeah. No, I'm happy that like this is the game that we spent the most time on because in the first round, it's deserved, bro. Like I literally was just like I thought you couldn't change my mind on Texas A&M, but Ruben Bain. I didn't even think Ruben Bain's on the same team as that offensive line. I didn't even think that.
Yeah, that offensive
Miami.
line has some monsters. Like
Yeah,
people like they don't watch Miami as much this year as I feel like they were last year because they're not as flashy on offense because they don't have Cam Ward anymore, but that team is legit, especially on the line of scrimmage. And when it comes to playoff football, line of scrimmage is going to travel. And the teams with the best line of scrimmage are going to go a long ways in this
I
big game.
agree. And I was thinking about like Cassius Howell giving Carson Beck hell. Dude,
Yeah.
I Ruben Bain, like, once again, like I said, totally flew over my head. Ruben Bain is gonna give Cassius Howell help. So yeah, I'm gonna go Miami too. No, 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 no. I'm gonna go Miami. So let's stay at the bottom end of this bracket now.
All
We
right.
got Ohio State versus Miami.
I think this is a much more interesting game than people are going to give it credit for if it does happen.
Because of the line of scrimmage.
And at the Cotton Bowl, it'll be interesting. Um,
Cotton Bowl.
but
I've always
probably,
loved that name.
probably a little bit shorter of a trip for Miami. I don't think it'll ultimately matter though. These teams get so much prep for these games. Um, I think Miami has an elite line of scrimmage, but I just think that Ohio State defense, especially in the secondary, is going to be quite easily the best that Carson Beck has seen all year, and I think they probably force him into some turnovers in this game. And Ohio State, like they play so conservative in big games like this. You've seen it all the time. It did end up biting them against Indiana, but that was an Indiana team that runs the ball better than almost anybody in the country. Miami has an okay run offense, but they're not anywhere close to Indiana. I think Ohio State's going to force them into some long third downs. And Carson Beck's going to have to make some big plays, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. Like I think Ohio State's defense probably wins this one. I think it's maybe a bit of a low scoring game because I think Miami's going to force them to throw the ball because Ohio State's run offense I think is really overrated. I really don't think is that good. Indiana held them to like 56 rush yards. I think Miami can shut that down maybe even more than that. So I think Ohio State's going to have to be forced to throw the ball, but I think they find a couple big plays in there that really bust it open. I think they probably win like a low scoring game, probably like I don't know, like a 21-10 type game where it's like it's pretty competitive, but Ohio State kind of just like slowly, comfortably wins. That's kind of how I would see this game going. But I think both teams, like I think the trenches in this game would be so fun to watch because both teams have such good such big size on the line of scrimmage. Like I think it's gonna be a battle, but I would see Ohio State winning that one.
Man, this is a hard one. Julian Sanders, best quarterback of the game. O line though are like almost even.
Yeah,
Both of these O lines are good. Like both of these O lines have multiple NFL players.
yeah,
Both of the pass rushes are good. Like both of the pass rushes, I think the two best pass rushers in this class will be playing in this game in Arvell Reese and Ruben Bang.
yeah. I think it's really interesting. I just think ultimately, um, I think the run offenses are pretty similar. I think the line of scrimmages are pretty similar, but I think Ohio State's secondary
That's
is
yeah.
significantly better than Miami's secondary. Even though I don't think Miami's secondary is bad, and I think Ohio State's receiver room is a decent bit better than Miami's. I think
Yeah.
Miami's doesn't get a ton of credit, but I think ultimately it's going to be the weapons on the outside for Ohio State and the secondary of Ohio State that's going to win this game for them uh by just a bit.
Yeah.
I think
They
it'll
got a
still be
better
really competitive
linebacking
though.
core too.
Yeah.
Wow. Do I just go Ohio State because of that though? Julian Sand is actually a dog. I think Julian Sand is the best quarterback of this class, but he's not in it, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't make that many mistakes. He's very accurate. He doesn't get flustered. Like Carson Beck, we have seen make mistakes and get flustered, and even at times this year blame his teammates for mistakes. Like I would trust the quarterback room at Ohio State more too. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next game we got is your Georgia Bulldogs versus Ole Miss.
yeah, Georgia Ole Miss, they already played once this year, kind of in the middle of the season. When Georgia's defense was still very young, still developing, and Ole Miss opened the game with 5 straight touchdown scoring drives. This is not the same Georgia defense that they saw back then. This Georgia defense has been locked down for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, they stuffed Alabama in a locker. They shut down Georgia Tech, who you can say what you want about Georgia Tech. They have a top 5 rushing and passing offense in the country, and they're one of the best teams as far as the yards per game go. They didn't give up a touchdown against them and only gave up 9 points. This Georgia defense has developed throughout the year. They have the 6th best run D. So, what's that guy? Keywan Lacey is Ole Miss's running back. Like I don't think he's going to go anywhere in this one. The offense has been pretty consistent. And I just think the absence of Lane Kiffin as far as game planning goes is going to really hurt Ole Miss. So I think Georgia's defense is just far improved. I don't see Ole Miss. I don't see Ole Miss putting up 35 again, and Georgia put up 43 on their defense last time. Ole Miss's defense is just really not that good. Um, I see Georgia winning this game. I just think Georgia has continued to get better, and Ole Miss has kind of just stayed the same.
Did Lane Kiffin get removed for like outside of football reasons?
No, they didn't want him. They didn't want him in the locker room trying to get players to go to LSU with him and stuff like that. So he's gone. A couple other staff members are gone. Which
he
I
just got a new deal. Okay, so they didn't want him recruiting.
yeah, they didn't want him
Makes
recruiting
sense.
their own players. So
Makes sense.
he's gone.
But he also got a new deal because he was really good, and you're saying that's why like him being gone hurts. Okay, I get you.
Yeah, I just think
get you.
him being gone as far as game planning goes, I think it'll hurt them. And his offensive mind, like he has so much input on that offense. They scored 5 straight touchdown drives to open the game against Georgia. Like nobody does that. And this Georgia defense has just gotten better, and I think this Ole Miss offense will be worse without him. Like how much
Yeah,
worse, I don't know, but I think they will be worse without him.
yeah. And as we're recording this episode right now, Alabama, Georgia is the game I'm on. Y'all just lost by 3 points, but like
Yeah,
it was a good game, you know. Like
yeah. The defense has continued to get better throughout the year, and like the biggest sign of that is just from playing Alabama at home, losing by 3, giving up what was it like 26 points or something, to playing them in the SEC championship and giving up 7
is
and beating
Stockton
them 28-7. So
is Stockton draft eligible?
he is, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come back to Georgia next year.
Yeah, me too. I feel like he is. Yeah, he's just like a college player, you know.
Yeah,
Because of that, I'll give it to Georgia, honestly,
yeah,
and mainly because y'all coach though Kirby Smart. That's y'all coach.
yeah,
Yeah, no, y'all coach like no against Alabama. He had a stupid ass goal for it when y'all could have just tied the game right there at for 24 points. But like
yeah. He was a little bit aggressive, but I
a
mean,
little bit. I mean, it was 21-24, 2 minutes left. Go for the fucking tie. What are we
yeah,
doing?
but you're trying to win the game in regulation. You're not trying to go to overtime, so it is what it is.
Get out of here. You down 3 and you got a 10-yard field goal. Like you said, it is what it is, bro. I guess we going for it on that situation, bro. I almost want to put Ole Miss just because they had go for it and they got a better quarterback. But like Kirby Smart, I know like his career as a coach.
Ole
I'm
Miss's
just trust
defense
that.
is not very
Yeah,
good,
and exactly Ole Miss defense, exactly. No, that
and
is
they like Ole Miss really doesn't have a marquee win this year either. Like their
yeah.
best win, I think, is against LSU.
Okay.
Alabama, Indiana.
Alabama versus Indiana. This is like
This is an
I
interesting
wish.
one. This is the one that I just flipped right before we started because I picked Alabama at first, but I was like, man, I just with how Alabama's played the back half of the season, they've been a little bit banged up. I just don't know. I don't know.
This is a huge game, bro. If this was to happen, you know who I think should have won Heisman, or at least been in the race instead of Mendoza, is Kamara on defense.
Yeah,
Am I tripping? Is Kamara like? Why do not? Is Kamara a problem?
I don't know.
Kamara's been a problem for years, bro. Dude, last year's class game around this time, I was like, oh man, is Kamara draft eligible? You know? And then this year he's doing even better. He's doing even better than last year, bro. And this is a team that's I think Indiana's built off their defense and run.
Yeah, their defense and their run game are how they win football games, and Alabama's run D has improved, but they still get misaligned at times. Like they did a lot better against Georgia the second time when it came to the run game. But I just don't know. I just don't know because it's going to come down to line of scrimmage play, I think, and it's really a toss up for me. Like I could see this game going either way, because I think Alabama is going to be like I just look at that Ohio State game for Indiana, and it's like they put up 13 points and won because their defense is great. What does that look like against Alabama, who's not really going to, they're probably not going to really try to run the ball because they haven't been able to all year. It's going to come down to the pass game again. And if they can find their guys downfield, I don't know. This one's really a toss up for me. Like, I think Alabama's run defense has improved a lot and they have a good pass D, which could force Mendoza into some mistakes. Mendoza's thrown a pick in, I think, every game he's played against a ranked opponent. Like if we're looking at just Oregon, Iowa, Penn State's not even ranked, but he threw a pick in that game, and then Ohio State. Like he threw picks in all those games, and those are the 4 best defenses he played this year. And then it just comes down to can Bama execute off those mistakes, or will Bama make their own mistakes? Because they're a very flawed team, but they have a lot of talent. Versus Indiana, I think is a not flawed team, but they are just less talented as far as a talent roster goes. Like they don't have any 5 stars. They only have a handful of 4 stars. Like Alabama's built with blue chip prospects, but Indiana just plays cleaner football. So I could really see this game going either way, honestly.
Yeah, no, this is a either way game because you got a left tackle. Both of these teams have left tackles that I like in Carter Smith and Caden Proctor. I believe those might be two of the top left tackles in this class. And
Yeah,
then they both have edge rushers. And Kamara, I think Kamara is a top 5 edge rusher in this class. And then Alabama got like Overtone, who's not top 5 to me.
he's injured right
But
now though.
Overtone is injured. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but Indiana also just lost one of their defensive linemen for the rest of the season too, I think. So I
Is
don't
it
know. Teams are
was
banged
it
up.
Kamara? Was it Kamara?
I don't
As
think
long
so.
as it ain't
Yeah,
Kamara.
I
As
can't
long
remember
as it
who it
ain't
was.
Kamara. Hey, as long as it is not Kamara, because that boy's a dog. And I'm gonna go Indiana with this one, man.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah,
that's who I switched it to. So I could see it really going either way, though. I think it's a really
yeah.
interesting
No,
matchup.
I'm gonna go Indiana, but um, Alabama has this D tackle with like blonde dreads that
Yeah, Tim Keenan,
yeah
he's a unit.
he's pretty good at stopping the run.
I know.
Like he's pretty good.
I think he could be a big difference maker in this game as far as stopping the Indiana run game and forcing Mendoza to throw.
Ah man, dude, but like Indiana's defense is just too good. Ty Simpson's been a little bit hurt.
Yeah,
D'Angelo Pons should strap up Ryan Williams.
it's interesting.
Kamara. Yeah, I'm going Indiana. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you're agreeing with me on Indiana.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
I had Bama before we recorded, and then I flipped to Indiana. It's like this is really a toss up for me. It was a hard
yeah.
game to pick.
Yeah. Nah, so far we're kind of making it easy because like your switch up went to where I got, and then you made me switch up with Miami. So like me and you haven't disagreed yet. And let's see if we change it right here because I know what team I got right here.
Oregon and Texas Tech. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is interesting.
I
Oregon has
got my
one of
team.
the Oregon has one of the best run defenses in the country. And that Tech offense is that they're very reliant on run game and deep shot pass plays. With Baron Morton throwing to those receivers outside the numbers. Um, but the Tech offense is they're not very good in the red area. They're really not very good, really past like the opponent's 35-yard line. They have to settle for a lot of field goals. It happened to them against BYU, and it also happened to them against Utah, which like both times against BYU. So those are 3 games. That's almost a quarter of their schedule where they're facing a quality opponent. Their defense is lights out. Their defense is fantastic, but that offense is missing out on extra on points because they're just not executing on the plus side of the 50 the way that a lot of these other teams in the playoffs do. That being said, the Texas Tech defense is one of the best in the country. People need to believe that. I mean, David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez and that other linebacker they had, he just had a couple picks in the
Romelio Height.
championship. Yeah, the Tech defense is legit. I just don't know if I trust the offense, and I think Oregon has been hurt all year. I think by the time this game comes around, like Oregon gets James Madison round 1, they're going to get to rest a lot of guys in the second half of that game. They're not going to get banged up. They're going to come into the Orange Bowl on the 1st with a ton of time off. So they're going to get 12 days off in between the James Madison and the Texas Tech game. And I just trust their offense more. They have a great run game. Dante Moore doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and I think there's a chance that Evan Stewart could be back by the Orange Bowl. So I personally like Oregon more just because I trust their offense more, especially in the red area.
Okay, so this is our first split. I like Baron. I don't think he's bad at all. And like you said, that defense could be something that makes Baltimore want to go back to. Like that defense is a problem, like you said. But do you think that Oregon runs so many RPOs that they could negate that defense?
Yeah, I just think that the defense is like I think Oregon's defense doesn't get enough credit. Like their run defense has been terrific, and like their pass defense, I really don't think is that bad either. So I think the defenses are gonna they're gonna be pretty equal, and I think at that point it's gonna come down to which offense do you trust more, and I just trust Oregon's offense a little bit more than I trust Texas Tech's at this point.
Ah man, I think for me what it is Texas Tech is better than Oregon on defense, and Oregon's better on offense.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like Oregon has the third best passing offense in the country or passing defense in the country. Like they shut down pass offenses, and they still have a top 20 run D. Like they're only allowing they're allowing less than like just 251 yards a game, which is that's one of the best in the country. So like Oregon has a very good defense, and their offense I think is good enough. Especially like they run the ball better than a lot of teams in the country do.
I mean, they run like crazy RPOs, so it's like, yeah, no, I get that. But at the same time, could those RPOs like mess with Jacob Rodriguez?
I don't know. I think Oregon has a good offensive line as well. So I mean they were up there for the what's it called, the Joe Moore Award last year. I think they might be a finalist again this year for the Joe Moore Award.
Oh man, Dante Moore do be like having some nice throws, but like, dude, that Texas Tech defense, dude. If
Yeah,
Dante Moore, if Dante Moore has like a great game against that Texas Tech defense, I think he should run into the draft.
yeah, it'll be interesting because like Texas Tech has the best run defense in the country, and Oregon has one of the best run offenses in the country. So I think that's going to be a super interesting matchup. And then like their defenses are opposite, where Tech has the number one run defense versus Oregon has the number 20 run defense, but Tech has the number 17 pass offense while pass defense, while Oregon has the number 3 pass defense. So one's really good against the pass, one's really good against the run, but they're both very, very good overall. So it'll be interesting just because they both have really good defenses. It's going to come down to which offense performs better. So I could see this game going either way. I just lean slightly towards Oregon.
Yeah, I'm leaning slightly towards Texas, but I'm gonna go with the tiebreaker and go your way. So we're gonna go Oregon. Um, so now we got Oregon versus Indiana. This is a game I for sure watched. Dude, this was
Yeah,
the
it
check
was.
down bowl. The check down bowl.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was raining sideways in Oregon.
Oh, it was
Um,
raining that game where they were just checking down all game.
yeah, the weather was not great.
I don't remember, but I do remember. I remember this game for sure. Oh, because there was a point of the game where all I was counting was how many times did they throw past the line of scrimmage, and it was less than five. Both teams
Yeah, it
combined.
was an ugly, ugly game.
Okay, that's why I should watch some more Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. I was so pissed just watching them throw to the line of scrimmage all game, Nick. Bro. Gabe, you don't understand. They were just throwing to the line of scrimmage, and I'm like, bro. I just the thing is, I just came back from like football practice, and then they were doing nothing but throwing to the line of scrimmage. While at practice, what I was teaching myself is always go forward in football. I
Yeah,
ain't see these boys go forward at all. And it's something I'm teaching myself as like a non-athlete on the college level. And we got these boys making the Peach Bowl. You feel me? So like this is a game where I just want to see more than just line of scrimmage throws. If it's being thrown to the line of scrimmage, I hope it ended in a tie. But
yeah, it was ugly. I mean, Oregon turned the ball over twice. Indiana turned it over once.
who ended up
Um,
winning?
Indiana won 30-20, but that Indiana turnover was also a pick six. So it was bad. Oregon ran for only 2.7 yards a carry. Indiana only ran for 3 yards a carry. The run games got shut down. The passing games weren't that great either. Indiana, though, like the reason Indiana won this game, in my opinion, is the amount of pressure they got on Dante Moore. They sacked him 6 times. Oregon only got 1 sack on Mendoza. Mendoza is getting the ball out quick, and clearly the Oregon offensive line needs to improve.
Yeah, bro. That's why I had Texas Tech winning, the week before, but
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think this is also one of Dante Moore's worst games. Like, I think he's going to improve on this a lot. And I think we saw that improvement in the last couple drives he had against Iowa, where it was another just horrible weather game. Um, and he improved on it. He looked a lot better in the clutch. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I remember. Is that the game where I was talking hard on his name, and then like he had a final drive?
yeah, he had a crazy final drive to go win that for him.
Yeah,
Um, and this is in a dome, so they don't got to worry about weather. I think Oregon plays a lot better in clean environments like that. I don't know. I mean, I picked Oregon to win this game, but like I honestly could see Indiana winning it. They already beat
I,
them.
if this is the matchup, I'm
Indiana,
going Indiana.
yeah, Indiana outgained them by a lot last time. Like it was just ugly for Oregon, but
Yeah,
I don't see Oregon playing that badly against the same team twice. But I don't know. Like
I
I
do.
could see that one going either way.
I do see Indiana winning this one. Okay, how about this? If it was Indiana versus Texas Tech, matchup wise, who would you have?
I
Like,
would take Indiana.
wow, I'd take Texas Tech, bro.
I just think Indiana plays they play so complimentary on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
But
no, no, for sure, dude. Carter Smith is gonna have a big test this playoffs because at left tackle he's been really good, but like I can't wait to see him against these top edge rushers. I maybe selfishly I want to see Carter Smith versus David Bailey and Romelio Height really bad for like film, but like I think Texas Tech might go all the way, bro. Like, I think Texas Tech is going to be that random team that ends up playing whoever we got winning Ohio State versus Georgia.
yeah, I don't know. I could kind of see I could see Oregon, Texas Tech, or Indiana all making it out of that side, but like I don't know.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I just expect Oregon now that they're getting healthy, and I think Dan Lanning is going to optimize this opportunity, especially after what happened to them last year. So like that's why I got Oregon, but like realistically, like I'm cool with whatever we go with here.
Yeah. Okay. We got Ohio versus Georgia.
Yeah, Ohio State, Georgia. I think it's an interesting matchup. Last time they played, it was arguably the greatest college football playoff game ever.
I
Um,
almost remember that.
it was like a missed field goal at the stroke of midnight is what sends Ohio State packing and Georgia on to go win their second straight national championship. Um, this will be interesting. It'll be in Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl. Um, yeah, I think line of scrimmage and run game is going to be huge in this game. Um, and I just think like again, I don't think Ohio State's run game is that great. They got absolutely locked down by Indiana. They only ran for 56 yards, and Georgia has what like the seventh best run defense in the country, sixth. Georgia has the sixth best run defense in the country. So if Ohio State's going to beat Georgia, they're going to have to air it out, and that's a secondary that has been improved upon all year long. They got the number one recruit in the country in Ellis Robinson, who's gotten better and better each week. I think he's only allowed one catch in the last 3 games. So seeing Ellis Robinson matched up against Jeremiah Smith or Carnell Tate is going to be that's going to be so fun to watch. And on top of that, I think the secondary of Georgia's improved across the board. You got KJ Bolden playing his best ball right now. Janelle Aguero is healthy, playing great ball again as kind of that star role in the box. And the pass rush has finally showed up. I think early in the season, Georgia's secondary was catching a lot of heat for all the yards they were giving up. But a lot of that was because Georgia through the first 8 games of the season only had 8 sacks. Their pass rush was not good. Over the last 4 or 5 games, they have like 9 or 10 sacks. It's crazy. The pass rush has improved so much for them, um, and I think that's a huge difference in this game. Like at this point, yeah, Georgia has um, Georgia has 9 sacks in the last 5 games. They only had 8 through the first 8. The pass rush has been largely improved upon, and that's against good line of scrimmage play, which they're going to see against Ohio State. So I think the line of scrimmage play from Georgia on both sides of the ball Especially if they can get Drew Bobo back by this playoff game is going to be huge for them. Um, and yeah, I think Georgia wins based off line of scrimmage and run game. I don't know if Julian Sain can win that game with just his arm.
Yeah, I put belt to Alabama last game.
Yeah, I
I,
mean the defense is just they've improved so much, and the run defense has been locked down all year. And now that the pass defense and the pass rush have improved, I think Georgia has one of the best defenses in the country, even if the numbers don't exactly say that as far as the pass game goes. But their run defense has been locked down all year, so I think that's good enough. And then Georgia runs the ball really, really well offensively. And we watched that Indiana Ohio State game, and Indiana was gashing them left and right. And Indiana runs a lot of their plays out of the pistol, and pistol run isn't even as efficient as what Georgia does, where Georgia gets under center a lot and they move bodies quickly up front. Under center run game is usually a little bit more efficient than pistol run game is. I just think that run game offensively for Georgia could be an issue for Ohio State. Um, and I think the line of scrimmage play defensively could really be an issue for Ohio State as well.
man, man, I did not realize how on point Georgia been because I'm watching the Alabama Georgia game, but I guess y'all played twice this year.
Yeah, we just played them in the SEC championship. We beat them 28.
Yeah. So I'm watching the first game. I didn't even see y'all second matchup where it seems like Caden Proctor gave up a sack this season and I can't find it. It gotta be that game. Like for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, I think it might have been.
No, it's for
I think
sure that game.
that was the first sack he given up all year.
Yeah, because I've literally been like, nah, it had to be. Because like I kind of saw when the stat updated and it was early earlier this month, like around the time y'all played.
Yeah,
And I haven't seen him giving up a sack the whole time I'm watching these Alabama games, and then I'm watching Alabama Georgia just to see Caden Proctor give up a sack, but I'm watching the wrong Alabama Georgia game. So no, that's starting to make sense. But
yeah,
Ohio State had a good game against Michigan. Like
yeah. Michigan's not very good though.
their defense is no
Like, who have they played? I mean,
Michigan.
when Michigan played USC, they got blown out. That Michigan played two good teams this year in the regular season.
Dang.
That was USC and Oklahoma. When they played USC and Oklahoma, they got blown out by both of them, and the defense looked bad. They had a easy schedule. Michigan avoided like the only decent team they played in conference play outside of Ohio State was Washington, and Washington's been extremely inconsistent this year, especially on the road. So like I think Michigan was really, really overrated coming into that game. And kind of living off the last 4 years of success they've had against Ohio State. Like that game was never really in doubt to me. I just don't think Michigan was all that good, especially because Michigan's offense is horrendous.
Yeah, I think Julian Sainz just like kind of you were kind of propping him up the right way to me. I think he's Joe Burrow, bro. I think Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and Justice Jefferson right now. I think that's just what it is. But yeah, and then y'all could beat that though. Y'all could. But I'm
I
going
think
Ohio.
I think Julian
That defense,
I think Julian
Arvell
will
Reese,
be. Yeah, but look at what Indiana did
Tony
to him.
Styles.
Indiana ran all over him, and
Man.
Georgia's run game is pretty damn good. Like
Dude,
Georgia's
this
got
is
a lot
actually
of backs.
valid, bro. No, this is actually no. I heard you out, and this is actually valid. I just think Ohio just got too many stars. Like Ohio got too many blue chip guys. Almost, they got like multiple blue chippers.
Yeah, yeah. Indiana ran for 118 on them, only 3.5 yards of carry, but that's not sack adjusted. So like that's counting the 3 sacks they got on Mendoza. Um,
I'll say this: no matter what happens, this is the Super Bowl. Whoever wins this game wins everything.
yeah, I just think the way Georgia has developed this year with the coaching of Kirby Smart, like I think Kirby's coaching job has been insane because this Georgia team, like they just won the SEC. They're the 3 seed in the playoff. and they're like the third youngest team in the SEC. Like they don't have that many draft eligible guys because
at all.
all these guys are gonna come back next year.
Yep, yep, all of
Uh,
them, literally.
so like I just think the way these guys have developed throughout the year, I think the way they're playing as a team as a whole, and I think the aggressiveness is what's going to put them over the edge. Ohio State always plays so conservative. They're so okay with being in these close games with really really quality teams, and it came back to bite them against Indiana. If you play like that against Georgia, it's not going to go well for you. You do
I'm
not want to
sorry,
be
bro. Nah, they
like,
got too much talent.
especially when you look at what Georgia did early in the year. Like Georgia was down. Georgia was down in so many games this year. Like they were down. They were down 2 scores at Tennessee. They come back and win in overtime. They're down to Alabama, almost come back and win. They were
Yeah,
down at half against Auburn. They come back and win. They were down 2 scores in the fourth quarter against Ole Miss. They come back and win. Down a score in the fourth quarter against Florida. They come back and win. And then they put belt the ass on Texas, who only lost by 7 at Ohio State early in the season. So I don't know.
did Georgia have a loss this year?
Just the Alabama loss, but that was the early one.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
And
game
when you
I'm
look
watching
at
right now. No, no, literally. Okay,
when you
does
look
Ohio
at
State have a loss this year?
yeah, they just lost to Indiana last week.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't really Ohio State
So,
really didn't
so
play a whole lot of they didn't play a whole lot of comp this year. Their other big game they had was against Texas where they won 14-7. Georgia beat that same Texas team later in the year 35-10.
I hear you, bro. No, dude,
I don't know.
Ohio.
I personally think I just think I think Georgia's developed the best. I think they're hot at the right time. Like I personally think Georgia's gonna win the whole thing, but like I could see Ohio State, I could see Indiana, I could see Oregon, but
Who
personally
knows?
Georgia's
I
got it.
see whoever wins this game right here winning the whole thing. It literally comes down to this game. Julian saying is either gonna like win the championship or Georgia is gonna be Georgia. You know?
Yeah, but like Indiana took that run game away from San and he played okay. Like he was 21-29 with a touchdown and a pick, but like they were awful on third down because they had a lot of third and longs. I yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, dude, are y'all the defense? I think in my opinion, Indiana's defense is better than y'all.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of defenses that are better than Georgia's. I just think Georgia's the best all around team. Like there's a lot of teams that do a lot of things good. I just think Georgia does. I think when it comes down to everything, Georgia does everything as a whole unit the best. Like I don't think like Ohio State doesn't run the ball very well. Their run defense isn't very good. Um,
I agree with
Indiana,
that though. Y'all are
Indiana,
yeah.
Indiana, when they can't run the ball, like I think Georgia is such a terrible matchup for Indiana. Um, because when Indiana can't run the ball, they play really really bad. Like they don't play very good when their run game gets shut down. Like they put up only 13 against Ohio State. They ran the ball pretty good in that game, but they not as good as they normally do. They barely beat Iowa. They ended up beating Oregon, but they didn't run the ball that well in that game either. So
I
yeah,
think Indiana State. I think Indiana versus anyone outside of Oregon is a bad matchup for them. If they play Georgia, that's a loss. They play Ohio State, that's a loss. They play Texas Tech, that's a loss. Oregon is literally the only team that we could have put here, and I have Indiana advance.
yeah, I think yeah, that's an interesting point. Like I almost like think Texas Tech could win that game against Oregon, but it's just their offense is just so like that's what I'm saying is like a lot of these teams like they're really good at something and then there's another part of their game that's not very good. Like with Oregon, with Oregon, they're just a little bit inconsistent, a little bit banged up. I think they're pretty well rounded. And then you look at Texas Tech, it's like their offense in the plus 35 is iffy. You look at Indiana when their run game's not there, they're not very good. You look at Ohio State, their run game's pretty overrated. They're not very good at running the ball. Their run defense is solid, but it's not great. And then like I just think Georgia like they throw the ball well, they run the ball really well. They have a really good run defense and their pass defense is solid and their pass rush is much improved. I just think they do those things better as a whole unit than a lot of these other teams do.
I agree with you on Georgia. I agree with you. I agree with you on all of these teams. But right here, I gotta go Indiana if we just gonna have Oregon here. I think Alabama would even be Indiana. Or nah. Nah, we have Alabama could be Indiana, but not clearly. We had Alabama beating or Alabama losing to Indiana. But I'm just saying, even Alabama could beat this team. You feel me? Like Indiana is super losable. Like Jared Goff could choke any matchup. You know,
Yeah,
nah. Jared Goff is on the field, but Jared Goff got the best defense. Are you cool with Indiana going to the championship?
yeah,
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. Oh, the championship games in Miami,
yeah,
Florida.
yeah.
Hold on, I might have to. Hold on, might have to give myself. Nah. I ain't gonna give myself that for Christmas. Nah. We got better things we can do. But Indiana, Georgia. At this point, I gotta go Georgia. Georgia,
Yeah,
like,
I think
yeah.
Georgia's a really bad matchup for them.
I think everyone is almost, bro. Like, Indiana is a team that has to prove it to me.
Yeah, I think Indiana's path is really favorable for them playing a team that in Alabama that doesn't run the ball very well. So that like it Alabama's a very one-dimensional offense, and then Oregon's a team they already beat because Oregon's offense Oregon doesn't throw the ball that well. They really want to run the football first, and Indiana's like if you have a one-dimensional offense, I think Indiana's going to kind of pick you apart. But Georgia can run the ball. They can run the ball with their quarterback, and they can throw the ball to multiple weapons, both at the line of scrimmage and beyond. So I don't know. I think Georgia's just more well rounded.
No, I agree with you. All around
But
Georgia.
like
Yeah.
I could see like if Texas Tech does beat Oregon, I could see Tech taking out Indiana as well, just because of how good their run defense is. Texas Tech's run defense is ridiculous. So
No, yeah.
if it's not Georgia Indiana, I think it would be Georgia Texas Tech.
I agree. If it's not, if it's not, yes, yes. But the thing is, man, I might have Ohio. Y'all are Ohio State is super tough. That's just what it is. Y'all are Ohio State is super tough. Like I literally the Super Bowl right there. Because no matter what world, I have Indiana and Texas Tech losing in Miami. You know,
Yeah.
but Georgia or Ohio State will be winning this championship game. And yeah, that'll be it for today's episode. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No.
All right, man. There goes our playoff bracket. We got Georgia all the way, Gabe. Thank you for joining us, man. Hey, if we could weekly, get some college content out, I'd love to do that. And these college shorts and stuff, I'll go crazy because it's that time of the year. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Score Show. Have a nice day and God bless.